Okay, let's go.
Have you ever caught yourself feeling completely exhausted after trying to speak English? Like, even after you've spent years grinding through vocabulary lists and memorizing grammar rules, you might be totally fine reading an article, writing a pretty solid email, and even understanding folks perfectly when they talk to you. But man, the exact second you try to form your own spontaneous thoughts, it's like hitting a massive brick wall. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, our whole goal is to break you out of that exhausting cycle of mental translation and show you exactly how to achieve true, effortless fluency. Let's dive in.
So, first things first, let's answer this big question. Why is it so incredibly tiring? Look, if you feel just completely drained after a quick 5-minute chat in English, your frustration is absolutely valid. Because here's the thing, knowing the words and the grammar, it simply isn't enough if your brain is constantly acting as a slow, overworked translator. Most learners never actually practice the physical skill of thinking directly. Instead, your brain is in there doing double duty. It's catching the English word, translating it all the way back to your native language just to understand it, forming a response in that native language, and then translating the whole thing back into English again. I mean, no wonder you feel exhausted, right? That is a huge cognitive load.
Section 1. The Hidden Translation Wall. This translation wall actually builds up during our daily practice without us even realizing it's happening. Traditional practice methods leave a pretty massive gap. Think about it. You can read, write, and listen for hours every single day, but those are mostly passive or highly structured activities. They don't actually force you to generate your own spontaneous thoughts. And without intentionally practicing direct thinking, your brain just naturally defaults to what it knows best, which is translating every single word from your native language into English. So the real secret to fluency isn't just stuffing your brain with more and more vocabulary. It's actually training your mind to use the words you already know natively, completely bypassing that translation phase.
Section 2. Retrain your inner voice. Okay, this right here, this is the breakthrough concept that changes literally everything about how you practice. Fluency doesn't start in a classroom, it starts right inside your own head. And this directly tackles our deepest fear, which is making mistakes. So many of us just freeze up and stop ourselves from thinking in English because we're absolutely terrified of messing up the grammar, even in our own heads. But you've got to remember this rule. Thinking is private. No one else can hear your thoughts. This is your safe space. You really have to lower that fear. Even if the sentence in your head is totally broken, it absolutely does not matter. The only thing that matters is training your brain to keep moving in English without stopping. Over time, those mistakes naturally fade away as your brain gets faster at grabbing the right words. But first, you have to give yourself the freedom to be completely imperfect in your own mind.
Section 3. Keep your thoughts simple. So every language organizes thoughts a bit differently. If you're trying to translate these long, complicated, highly poetic sentences from your native language, the mental load is just way too heavy. You're going to struggle to translate that on the fly. But English thinking is incredibly direct. It's honestly a lot like sending a quick text message to a good friend. So instead of thinking this big, long phrase like, I feel very exhausted because I had a long day full of responsibilities, just think, I'm so tired, today was a long day. See the difference? It's straight to the point, it's clear, it's natural, and it's fast. Give yourself permission to just keep it simple.
Section 4. Visualize instead of translating.
Now, if we want to totally eliminate that middle step of translating back to our native language, we need a replacement. And that replacement is visual imagination. It is a remarkably powerful cognitive tool. From now on, when you learn a new English word, stop writing down the translation next to it. Instead, use visualization. Connect that English word directly to an image in your mind. If you hear the word apple, do not think of your native word for it. Close your eyes and instantly imagine a shiny, crisp red apple. When you hear happiness,
Directly picture a massive glowing smile. By linking words directly to visual meanings, your brain stops wasting precious milliseconds translating. It connects the English directly to reality, and that drastically speeds up your entire thought process.
Section 5. Daily Direct Thinking Exercises.
All right, let's get into some super practical, everyday habits, simple methods for talking to yourself to physically train your brain over time. Start narrating your life with simple self-talk, kind of like you're the star of a really boring documentary. So, step 1. When you wake up, instead of planning your morning in your native language, actively tell yourself in English, "I need to brush my teeth." Step 2. During your commute, just describe what's right in front of you. "The sun is bright today," or "Wow, that car is moving fast." And step 3, if you're cooking or just hanging out alone in your house, speak out loud. Say, "I'm cutting the vegetables," or "I'm adding salt." And yeah, you might feel a little bit silly talking to yourself at first, but narrating these basic daily actions out loud is hands down one of the absolute best methods to connect your physical life directly with English thought. It literally forces the language to become automatic.
Now, alongside that self-talk, you need to force some digital immersion. If you don't actually live in an English-speaking country, well, you have to build one around yourself. First off, change your phone and computer's language to English immediately. Just do it. Second, start writing your grocery and shopping lists entirely in English. And third, try sending short text messages or digital notes to yourself in English. Even if it feels slightly uncomfortable or weird at first, these small daily immersion tactics really push your brain. They force you to get comfortable interacting with English as a primary tool for your everyday life, rather than just treating it like some subject you study for an hour a day.
And a huge part of that immersion is just surrounding yourself with the sound. Your brain is quite literally a sponge. The more ambient English you hear, the easier it becomes to naturally think in it. So, watch TV shows in English. Throw on an English podcast while you're cleaning the house. And listen, here is the real secret. Do not worry if you don't understand every single word at first. That is not the point. The goal here is absorption. You are just letting your ears and your brain get completely used to the rhythm, the tone, and the natural flow of the language. Over time, those sounds become intensely familiar, and your brain will actually begin to produce those exact same rhythms on its own when you start to speak.
Section 6. The Freedom of Fluency.
So why put all this effort into self-talk and visualization and messing with your phone settings? What's the ultimate payoff here? Well, the reward is living inside the language natively. When you actually commit to these daily habits, something pretty incredible happens. Everything just becomes easier. You'll find yourself speaking faster, you'll understand native speakers so much more clearly, and your confidence will absolutely soar because guess what? You aren't lagging 5 seconds behind the conversation anymore. You finally stop translating. English transforms from being this stressful academic subject you have to study into a natural, everyday tool that you simply use to express exactly who you are. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this somewhat provocative question. What is the very next thought you will have in English? The next time you catch yourself translating in your head, I want you to literally pause, take a breath, and just try to form that exact thought directly in English. Start small, be patient with yourself, apply these visualization and simple self-talk methods starting today. With a little bit of time, your brain is going to adjust, and you are going to discover a whole new kind of freedom in your learning journey. Thank you so much for joining me, and I honestly can't wait to see how your fluency transforms.